Trump has received his third nomination for a Nobel Peace Prize. His third. The four Australian law professors nominated the president on the basis of the Trump doctrine of foreign policy, that is, America first. And Professor David Flint credited the historic peace deals brokered by President Trump among Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain, saying he's really producing peace in the world in a way in which none of his predecessors did, and he fully deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. His third. I repeat again, his third. Joining us tonight, KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor to the President. KT, great to see you. And I have to say, this is a momentous occasion. A president with three. At first, it was astonishing that there was one, and then two, but a third Nobel Peace Prize nomination for his foreign policy, which amounts to a more modest, if you will, a humble foreign policy, and without question, an America First doctrine that has served this nation well, both as domestic policy and foreign policy. I'd like to get your reaction.
You know, I don't think a president has had this kind of foreign policy success in his first term. You have to really go back to Nixon and Kissinger for the kind of extraordinary successes President Trump's had. And how did he do it? Well, as those Australian professors said, he used common sense and he did things differently than anybody's done them before. So what's President Trump done? Well, the first thing he did was rebuild the American military. That was great. That was pretty much expected. But he stood up to China. No American president has done that. And he got new trade deals. He got new trade deals in Asia. He got new trade deals in Europe. He got our European allies to contribute $500 billion more towards our common defense. But most importantly, the Abraham Accords, Slew, these are so significant. I mean, not only do we not need to be in the middle of the Middle East wars, we don't need to be held hostage by the oil supplies, but he has brokered the first deal between Arabs and Jews, not in 30 or 40 years, but how about 1,000 years? This is something that will go down in history as one of the great national security, foreign policy achievements of any administration. Not only does it make the Middle East a lot safer and a better place, but it really helps American security in the long run.
It helps our security. He is succeeding, as you say. And by the way, I would interject that the Reagan administration's, their work in foreign policy was pretty historic too, bringing about the collapse.
But that was in the second term.
And well, I understand, but I'm saying to you, that was rather impressive too, in whatever term we wish. The fact of the matter is, this president is doing unprecedented things, and doing them almost he does it with such. I mean, it's quiet. He does it because the national left-wing media doesn't say a word. We almost depend on word of mouth for anyone to know. Our president has 3 nominations for Nobel Peace Prizes for 3 separate achievements on his part.
Yeah.
It's stunning stuff. I want to read something to you from the former Republican National Security and senior officials, and I'd like to share with the audience, if we may, producers, this full screen in which they said, "We proudly," now think about this, national security professionals like yourself, "we proudly endorse the re-election of Donald J. Trump. President Trump has brought a badly needed realism to American national security policy that puts America first, the prosperity and security of the American people first." This is a membership of the foreign policy establishment that as the president often uses the expression, gets it. They understand who he is, what he's doing, and what the consequences are for the American people. We haven't seen a president put this kind of energy and effort into maintaining America's leadership as he has. We've had a lot of presidents claim they were by starting a war. He's doing it day in and day out over the course of his first term, which has a ways to go before it's completed. and his second begins. Your thoughts here as we wrap up.
Just imagine what he can do in a second term. I mean, we will put China in a position where they're not going to dominate the world and make the 21st century the Chinese century. That's why I think it's so important to give him a second term. He's just getting started.
You better believe it. And that's why I wrote a book called The Trump Century. It ain't going to be the China century. KT McFarland, good to have you here. Thanks so much. We're coming right back with much more. Some of the leftists on the Minneapolis City Council, their conscience, their minds are awakening. They're changing their mind about defunding the city's police department. Larry Elder and I discuss that next. Stay with us. We'll be